Hey Faithful, welcome back to the Saloon presented by Cisco. I'm your 49ers team reporter, Briana Jeannel, sitting with founder and CEO of Fangirl Sports Network, Tracy Sandler. She's also an insider, knows everything that's happening in the 49ers organization. Tracy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
I mean, Sunday was so fun. Sunday Night Football at Levi Stadium. We were finally playing back at home. Just tell me your initial thoughts on this matchup.
It was a pretty impressive performance. You didn't know because the Falcons have so many weapons and they have such an incredible ground game, or they had. And the 49ers defense was suffering from a number of injuries. Lost Fred Warner the week before, obviously was without Nick Bosa. Upton Stout was out. There was a lot going on. They lost people during the game, and this performance by the 49ers, that defense was incredible. The ground game got going. George Kittle's return was everything you wanted to be in terms of run blocking. And it changed everything. So it was a pretty impressive performance from San Francisco.
And now the 49ers sit at the top of their division, number 2 in the conference. How do you think the locker room is feeling after a primetime win?
I feel like they're feeling pretty good. I mean, I don't want to say it was a character performance because football games are won on the field with play, but I think it does show the character of the team, the coaching of this team. This team is incredibly well coached, incredibly well prepared, and that was a big one. It was a little bit, not to be dramatic, but it's a little bit of a statement game. Everyone's watching on Sunday night. There aren't any other football games on. They're going against a tough offense, and they really rose to the occasion without a lot of their stars and a lot of their leaders. So I would imagine they are feeling pretty good, and it sure felt like that after the game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one because it felt like a complete team win. Of course, Christian McCaffrey was carrying the offense, and he had an amazing game. And I felt like our offense really reestablished the run game, which is something that we've been missing in the first 6 weeks of the season. How do you think they were able to pop off on Sunday?
The return of George Kittle was huge. I mean, it really was. I had talked about it before the game, and I was kind of against it. I don't want to be dramatic, but I think George Kittle coming back is going to change the run game, and it does, because not only is he a tremendous run blocker, but now they have another person on the field that a defense has to worry about and a defense has to think about. And so it just opens things up. You have Juwan Jennings at full health. He's also so important in the run game. So I think that those are things. And the O-line play was great. I won't take anything away from them. The O-line played really well. Lost Jake Brentel during the game. Still was able to rise to the occasion, but I think that is a lot of why the run game was really able to get going this week.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Brendel's a huge part of that run game. While we're talking about injury updates, he did go down in the first half. I'll give you a few others from Kyle Shanahan on Monday's call. Cornerback Renardo Green has a toe injury. Kyle Shanahan said he avoided turf toe, which is amazing to hear, but he will be continuing to be evaluated throughout the week. Jake Brendel, again, has a hamstring injury, expected to miss a couple weeks. Faithful defensive lineman Bryce Huff, also a hamstring injury. He's likely to miss a couple weeks after feeling discomfort late in the game. Going down the list, these aren't injuries from Sunday's game, but from throughout the week, where quarterback Brock Purdy, still his toe injury remains week to week, and offensive lineman Spencer Burford, he could have his practice window opened as he works back from a knee issue. So while we're talking about Jake Brendel going down, we got Matt Hennessy now stepping into the fold. How do you think that offensive line just got to work immediately? What did Kyle Shanahan say about his performance?
Well, I think he really stepped it up. And it was interesting. Mac Jones had said after the game, he said he and Matt Hennessy had a lot of reps together in training camp. And I think that was really helpful. But he stepped in. Mac Jones joked it was a revenge game for him because he was on the Falcons. And I thought it was pretty impressive because the thing with O-lines, when one goes down, O-lines are all about chemistry. It's such a big part of it. So when somebody goes down like that, especially someone who's started so many games consecutively for the 49ers and at center, you never know. But Matt Hennessy stepped in. He did a great job. They were able to recover from it, and you saw the results.
And let's just give a little love to Christian McCaffrey, as we do every single week. This was an insane game. I saw Sunday Night Football called it, we got tight end week coming up, the National Tight Ends Day. They called it the running back day. Why do you think it deserves that crown?
Well, I mean, I think Christian McCaffrey is he was absolutely incredible in the run game, in the passing game. He was tremendous. And he was like the Christian McCaffrey that everyone's been all season long, like, we want to see that Christian McCaffrey, we want to see that Christian McCaffrey. And there he was. It was truly incredible. When he went into the end zone and did this with his arms up, I was like, you know what? Go off. You deserve that. Love that.
It's like we're watching a musical. Yes. It's so dramatic.
It's so dramatic.
My heart was pounding. Or also like the somersault into the end zone.
That was also very impressive. Like I couldn't get into an end zone just generally, let alone somersault into an end zone without any injury.
Have you seen on podcasts or on social media when they're talking to just a normal person on the street and they were like, Could you make 1 yard in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't think I could. I think it's probably I think the only thing I'd have going for me is if I came in and it was such a surprise that the defense was confused. But even that, I think they'd be like, whatever, she's going down. Like I don't think I could do it.
So even a somersault into the end zone is just
if there's no one on the field and I get to go to the end zone and somersault, I'm all good.
We should do somersaults in the end zone.
I don't hate that idea. I am all in.
That's so funny. Well, with George Kittle being back, his first game back from injury, what were your expectations for his performance on Sunday? And then what was more of the reality? Because like you said, he was a key part in the 49ers reestablishing that run game.
That was kind of where I thought it was going to be. I didn't know how involved to be in the passing game, just because also a hamstring injury is something you still kind of got to be careful of. And he'd been out for a while, and he hadn't really worked a lot with Mac Jones. There were a number of factors that made me think his participation in the run game was going to be huge, and it was, and that's what he needed to do. And he said after the game, like, "Sorry, fantasy owners, but what are you going to do?" But he loves the run game. He loves run blocking. He loves being a part of that. But I also think just his presence on the field, especially having lost Fred Warner the week before, just really was great and helpful for the 49ers. You have a very different personality, a very different kind of leader, but one of their top leaders back. And even after the game when he came to the podium and he stepped up and he said, "Howdy," I was like, he's back.
He's back. And it's so amazing that you say that, because he's the one who broke down the team right before kickoff started, which is usually Fred Warner's position. That doesn't mean Fred Warner wasn't at Levi Stadium for Sunday Night Football. We saw him in the sideline, on the end zone, in the player tunnel, in the suite with his family. Just how does it go to show how big his leadership is with this team and his connection with his teammates, being out with a season-ending injury, but still showing up each and every day for those guys?
And a few days after surgery.
Yeah.
And apparently he came in on Saturday and was just there. Tatum Bethune said he was just there, part of the team meeting, didn't say a lot, but part of the meeting. He's such a big part of this team. Fred Warner is just, you think of the 49ers, you think of Fred Warner, and he's so passionate. He's so good. I mean, his talent is incredible. His work ethic is incredible. And he's really had an effect on all of these young players and how they prepare and how they take care of their bodies, on how they study during the week. And you can't quantify that. It's this whole other thing. So I think having him there was really tremendous for the team, tremendous for the fans, and the team played well because they played well, but having Fred Warner there, I'm sure, gave a little bit of that emotional boost, a little oomph, if you will.
Yeah, did you catch George being like, "Fred, thanks for getting loud while we were on offense"?
They almost had to go to a silent count. I thought that was very
funny. So funny. So basically what had happened during the game is that the Levi Stadium cameras put the camera on Fred Warner while the 49ers were on offense, and the stadium went crazy. Fans were screaming, and George was like, "Thanks, Fred."
Yeah,
I appreciate
you. It's like being in Seattle or New Orleans all over again. Thanks a lot. But the play erupted. It was great. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. I really did.
Yeah, definitely. Now, before this game happened, leading up to the game, I spoke with Tony Dungy, who's also on the Sunday Night Football crew, and he mentioned that whoever is going to win this game is going to be whoever has the better run game, whichever running back really pops off. And Bijan Robinson is also amazing. He's leading the league, entering this past contest and rushing yards. And so how was the defense without Fred Warner? Fred Warner's in the suite and the stadium's going crazy. How are they able to stop Atlanta's run game?
They are so well coached. I mean, I really think that is so much. Robert Saleh and his staff, they just, Johnny Holland, Chris Kasarik, they had this team so ready. And they knew exactly what they were doing. Tatum Bethune had a great game. I mean, everyone really stepped up. I think that was such a big part of it. Every single person on that field stepped up and made themselves a part of this defense. But I have to go back to the coaching because, again, without Fred Warner, without so many stars, and this was a tough matchup in that way. As you said, Bijan Robinson, he is one heck of a running back. He and Christian McCaffrey are very close. They worked together in the offseason. They learned a lot of tricks from the trade from each other. But they were just so well prepared, and I think that's what it is. And that preparation, of course, breeds confidence. And Tatum Bethune coming in there, you could see there's a confidence in him. He has an opportunity. He's going to make the most of his opportunity. This is not the way he wanted to get it, but he has it, and he had every confidence in the world that he was going to go in there and perform, as did the team and everyone around it. They were really good. But again, I go back to coaching. I think this is got to be one of the most well-coached teams in the league by far.
Yeah, definitely. And you said his name, Tatum Bethune, stepping in at Mike linebacker, starting in this game. He stepped in for Fred Warner when we were in Tampa Bay. What do you know about Tatum, and what makes him, an emerging leader for this defense?
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking back to training camp when he talked to us, and he said how Fred Warner basically said to him, you need to get your preparation and your body in shape, and then we can talk actual football. He had to cut out Skittles, if memory serves. He had to cut out candy and all of that. And that, to me, says somebody who came in and wanted to learn and wanted to know how to be his best and wanted to learn from the best. And he had a confidence about him. And what also struck me was after the Tampa game, when Kyle Shanahan announced that Fred Warner would be out for the season, and he said it's going to be Tatum Bethune now. And so that wasn't like, we'll see how the week goes. None of that. Like, that's going to be our guy. And you could see there was a confidence, and there was a confidence from his teammates throughout the week, and he has a confidence. And so I think that just shows he's a good player. He knows he's a good player. He knows how to prepare. He knows how to study. He said he and Malik Mustafa spent some extra time together studying, and he's a very good football player. And I think sometimes we forget that. Like, even Fred Warner was not Fred Warner the second he stepped on a football field, the second he was drafted. And it takes time, but Tatum Bethune has gotten to learn from some of the best, and he is stepping into the role beautifully, at least so far.
Yeah, and that preparation was key. Kyle mentioned that having that week of starter reps was huge for Tatum. Also huge, getting those preparation in, is looking deeper at the defense in the secondary with Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa. You just said his name also. How did
all the names.
You're just hitting the keys. But tell me what you thought of their performance in this game, because they saw increased snaps against the Falcons.
And they were really good. They worked really well together. And safety has been an area that we saw some last season, a little bit of this season, that had some struggles, but they came in and they looked great. They really did. And Kyle Shanahan, praised them on the Monday call. And I thought it was a really good duo and stepped up where they needed to. And I think it's a position where there were question marks that might now be answered. You are welcome for that one.
Well, Tracy, speaking of question marks, let's talk about this D-line.
Let's
Bryce
do it.
Huff, he's out for a couple weeks with that injury. Where do the 49ers go from here after losing Nick Bosa and having to reevaluate all over again?
That one's tough, and Bryce Huff is a tough one, coming off probably his best game as a 49er, a top game in his career, and then, of course, gets hurt there. It's just terrible. They're a little thin now. We're coming up on the trade deadline in a couple weeks. I think probably they will make a move. I know Kyle Shanahan said Monday they don't want to make just any move, and they'd prefer to have someone they could have long term, but they're going to need, if nothing else, they're going to need some depth there. So we'll see if anything happens before this week. Otherwise, again, it's next man up. This team excels in next man up. I mean, it happens a lot, and they seem to figure it out. But defensive line now does become some place where they are somewhat thin, and it's not going to be easy. They're coming up on a team that's really struggled offensively, and the quarterback has struggled, but they're still a little thin there. So I think some move is going to happen somewhere.
Yeah, a few question marks across the board for this defense, but we have another week of preparation before heading over to Houston for week 8, led by a former 49ers defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans. He's now head coach at the Texans. Tell me, what did you watch in Monday Night Football? I know the game was pretty late.
Yes.
But just what can you expect from this week 8 context between the Niners and Texans?
Well, the Texans are a team that are really struggling offensively, and they had that big game against the Ravens. They went into their bye week and then came on Monday Night Football and just did not look good. I mean, C.J. Stroud, I believe, was 23 of 49. He was hit 7 times and sacked 3. I believe that those are the correct numbers. I'm going from memory here. But my point in bringing all that up is this is an opportunity for, even with the question marks, for this D-line and for that front seven to bring pressure to Stroud and force him into mistakes. He threw an interception. He's definitely a quarterback that, well, this is true of most quarterbacks, but if you bring pressure, you can force them into mistakes. And his offense had let him down. There were some big drops. They really had no run game going on. They may be without their best wide receiver, Nico Collins, on Sunday because he suffered a concussion in Monday night's game. So I think it's another opportunity for this defense to excel. It's not something they can take lightly, because one thing about C.J. Stroud and this Texans offense is they could wake up at any point. But I think this is an opportunity for San Francisco to go on the road. It's not an easy game by any means, but to put in the same kind of work and get a win. That Texans offense is really struggling. And the defense, though showing flashes, is also not the defense we have been seeing in years past from the Texans.
Yeah, definitely. And what we liked from this Sunday night game in Week 7 was that it was a complete team win.
Yes.
We saw effort in all 3 phases. What do you really want to see that you haven't seen from the Niners yet against the Texans, where they have an opportunity to maybe showcase that?
Okay, this is going to sound silly, But I would love to see a very complete special teams game.
Yes.
No mistakes. I mean, I think Malik Turner had a really good game the other night on special teams and kind of separated himself in that way. There were kind of jokes on Twitter like, get ready to learn linebacker, buddy. But he had a good game. Obviously, Eddie Pinheiro's been incredible, but there always seems to be one or two little special teams issues, and it would be really cool to see the special teams unit just really have a full, complete game. Beyond that, about the things that maybe other people care about more, you'd love to see the run game continue to get going, and I think that it will. And, see that these young guys on defense kind of continue to step up. But if Christian McCaffrey is going to have a game, even if it's not quite that game, but is close to that game, a modicum of that game, the 49ers are going to be in very good shape.
Amazing. So special teams, let's see some more from you. Christian, keep running. Tatum, keep being amazing. I'm excited for this Week 8 matchup. Tracy, thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, that was my conversation with Tracy Sandler. And now we are going to rewind the tape a little bit to before Sunday's game, where I sat down and talked to defensive lineman Jordan Elliott. We talked about his preparation for Sunday Night Football, and you get an inside scoop on how the D-line was able to stop Atlanta's run game. Here's my conversation now with Jordan Elliott. All right, Faithful, this is your 49ers team reporter, Briana Jeannel, sitting with Jordan Elliott right before Sunday Night Football. Jordan, how are you feeling?
Feeling great, blessed, can't complain.
Jordan, you've been a steady force on the defense this season. How do you feel like your game has grown since you joined the 49ers last year?
It's grown a lot. There's a lot of room for growth. It still is. I'm looking forward to the rest of this season. It's been a great year so far.
I wanted to ask you, how in the world are you able to block so many kicks?
I don't know. I got a magic hand or something. I don't know what it is.
Do you know how many in your career?
I had 5, I believe.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know you had one in 2024
Right.
that Demo returned for a touchdown.
Right.
You blocked an extra point against the Rams this year. Is it a matter of size and reach, or is there an art to it?
It's definitely, some size involved because you got to penetrate that gap. But really, I feel like it's just a field thing as well. It's guys bigger than me that should be able to do it, right? But for whatever reason, I have 5 in my career, so I'm thankful for that.
You got the magic touch.
Yeah.
I like it. Now, the entire D-line has been tested all season due to a lot of circumstances, matchups, injuries. I know the biggest performances from this D-line come from when you guys work as a unit.
Right.
How would you say that this group has come along as you enter Week 7 now?
Well, with the loss of Nick, it was something that we already were kind of getting close before Nick got hurt, right? But after he got hurt, we had to kind of accelerate it. You know what I mean? And it wasn't nothing forced or anything. It was natural. But, yeah, guys just came together, opened up, and I think it's making us, kind of mesh together very well.
Yeah. It's been the story since training camp that the 49ers are putting a lot of trust in the young guys and the rookies,
Right.
but leaning on vets like you to lead the way.
Right.
What's it like working with the rookies like Michael, CJ, Alfred, but also the second-year linebacker, Tatum Bethune, who's stepping in for Fred Warner at Mike linebacker in this game? Tell me about working with those guys.
Working with them it's a blessing because every day you just know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? You're going to have a lively room filled with just jokes and focus. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. We can balance it. Because I done been in rooms where it's just all work and nobody kind of really knows each other. Nobody really cares. You know what I mean? So I think this group is very tight-knit. And like you said, just having the older guys lead them along the way, I think they're going to be great.
That's good. And Tatum, any stories with him in the locker room?
Tatum, we call him Deacon. You know what I mean? We call him Deacon because he man a few words. He just get to work, do his thing. You know what I mean? So I look forward to seeing Tatum out there this week. It's going to be a very big game for him, for all of us. So.
Yeah, he's going to be talking a lot, hopefully, in Sunday Night Football. Now, I want to get to know a little bit about you off the field also.
Okay.
Is it true that you're into music producing?
Yeah, I am. I make beats. I make songs. All type of stuff. Yeah, I'm into music.
That is so cool. If you could work with any producer in the music industry, who would be your dream collab?
It's this guy named Ninth Wonder. He made a lot of hits from the early 2000s and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of a good example of a song. Beyonce, Me, Myself, and I.
Wow.
He made that beat. Yeah, so that's somebody that I looked up to, and that's why I kind of got into making beats and producing and stuff.
That's so cool. Is one of your passions something you do maybe after the game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I still do it now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so cool. I had to ask. Now, let's look at the biggest game of the week, Sunday Night Football. The Falcons come in with the NFL's top rushing attack led by Bijan Robinson.
Right.
You started your football journey as a running back. What do you see from Atlanta's run game so far on film?
Yeah, like you said, Bijan Robinson is a huge threat. You know, I think they have the number one, like you said, the number one rushing offense right now. So, yeah, it's going to be a great challenge. It's an opportunity, though, you know, for us to really showcase as a unit. You know what I mean? I think that's something that people kind of have questions about, like with Fred out and Nick out, how will we hold up and maintain? But I think that this is a perfect opportunity for us to just show the world that we still have the ability.
Yeah, Bijan's been explosive both as a runner and receiver. His game is very similar to Christian McCaffrey's. Yeah. Does it help that you're able to go up against a player like that day in and day out?
Yeah, definitely. Somebody like Christian, you know, you say he's one of a kind, right? But Bijan's also one of a kind. So it's kind of like one of those things where they're very similar, but they have things that kind of make them different, right? But Bijan is who we're looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? We're looking forward to that. So, yeah, it's an opportunity.
What's the key to limiting a guy like that and keeping him contained?
Honestly, just doing our job, like at a high level, right? It's not about doing anything extra or doing anything crazy. It's just like we have to be able to stay in our gap, make the tackle, right? When we got them down for a negative 1 yard loss, we can't let them get out of our grip. You know what I mean? Just those type of things. So if we're on our fundamentals and our keys, everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, amazing. Now, Atlanta's quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., he's been very efficient. What kind of challenges does he bring from a pass rush standpoint?
So from a pass rush standpoint, I will say he does get the ball out very fast. You know, he kind of knows where he wants to go with it. So I think that's going to be something for us to continue to improve on, right? But, yeah, Michael Penix, he's a great quarterback. We're looking forward to that challenge of him getting the ball out quickly. Hopefully he holds it for a little bit. So
yeah. Well, Jordan, what does winning in the trenches mean to you, especially in this primetime matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. This is going to be the difference between us winning and losing. So that's the best way I can put it.
Absolutely. Now, finally, this is Sunday Night Football under the lights at Levi Stadium. What's your final message to the faithful before we take the field?
I would say everybody show up, show up lit, show up with some high energy because it's going to be a great game.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And the defense dominated against the Atlanta Falcons for Sunday Night Football at Levi Stadium. Now for some exclusive footage from the trenches, from the 49ers. You get to see everything that was happening on the sidelines and in the game. After the game, I caught up with defensive lineman Sam O to recap the primetime win. Here's all that right now.
Hi, you look good. The all black sit.
Love you, George.
Yeah.
What's up, Niners Nation? This is CM Punk. I am on the field at Levi Stadium, and we are here for SNF. Checking in right now. I'm here for George Kittle. I'll see you in the ring, George. How you doing? I'm good. How are you? You're a lot taller than your cleats. You know that?
I'm like 6'6" right now.
Yeah.
We'll put on a show tonight.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll have some fun.
Let's get the W.
And I'll see you in the ring after.
Look at him! I need somebody. I already took care of your boy.
Have fun tonight. Be violent. Beat up each other and hit him on in the face. Now he's on 3. 1, 2, 3. From play 1 to the last month play. Like Kyle said, man, 40 runs is just to win this game, man. That starts in this circle. Be on your and finish them when you get a chance, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ask about me going around the town. This don't come easy, man. Teach him the shit early, dog. Early. Go out there and ball. Get that shit out of your head. I don't know. We got time. They ain't calling nobody out but us, man. They ain't calling nobody out but us. This us. Hey, show what the fuck we about, man. Show what the fuck we about, dog. We running that 40 times and we get this done, man. Let's go. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3. See out here. Jesse, see out there, go. Good luck. All your fundamentals and technique will come to life.
There he goes. It's 3rd and 4. Penix in trouble, collapsing pocket, and they get to him.
That's how you play defense, baby. And you keep doing, just do it like that. Everybody talks about desperation and all that. Play fucking desperate. Play desperate.
Now let's go. Oh, here we go. One at a time.
Come on, 1, 2, 3.
Jones looking left. Got Jennings for the first down at the 20-yard line. 1st and goal from the 1. McCaffrey inside into the end zone.
Great job, bro. Great job, work, baby. It's like the Madden truck stick. When no one's there, you just fall.
1st and 10. Huff off the edge. That ball's out. He hit Penix and knocked the ball out. And in the pile, the Niners have the football.
One more second. We need one more, boy. One more. I tell you, we're gonna get that. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that. They haven't even reviewed it yet. They called it. They said, defense is like that. We covered by the defense. Hey, before they said it, you're like this. It's hard. That's hard. That's Fred level horror right there. Oh my God. Nah, ain't no level like Fred level. I had one arm on the phone. Hey, listen. Alpha fellow, I said, let me have it. I said, let me get it, please. Look at me and say, no.
So it's 3rd and 6. Falcons bring 4, and they get to Jones, and the ball comes out. It bounces into the hands of the Niners' Connor Colby.
My first and only time I ever caught the ball happened just like that. And I got 8 yards just like that. So kick a field goal. I know, I seen it. I'm like, catch it.
Tries this from 55. And Pinheiro knocks it through.
Kicking off.
McCaffrey inside, 1st down. Dragged down by Watts. From 43, Pinheiro. 2 for 2.
Leg rush. Straight Memphis. We still got money checks on it. All right. I got you. Let's go grab him by the throat and squeeze him a little bit. How about that? Let's go. Hash to hash. You get your pick. Memphis, hash to hash. D, they throw one out there blind. You gonna throw me one? I'm trying to score. You throw me one. What you gonna do with your ball? Throw it in the stand. First NFL interception ball. Been 13 games. I'm here praying that send it up to the Hall of Fame. All right, let's keep playing physical, huh? Hey, let's go do what we do, man. Do what we do.
Come on. Finish every play. Let's go.
Let's go, fellas. Right here. Let's go. One play at a time.
Here comes the pressure. Penix in trouble. Got rid of it.
They really in the cage backside, man.
Hey, last 7. Last 7. I know you felt this. I seen it. I'm gonna run after as soon as you felt this. That's why we here. They need us. 826. Great execution on the can. That's what got us to 3rd and 1 for a chance to win.
Where's Kittle? Where's McCaffrey? Jones throws. It's caught by McCaffrey. 1st and goal. San Francisco. Gifts. They close it out. And here he is on the run. Inside. Pushing the ball to the goal line.
Yeah, he did.
don't even win.
Power is God's play. The way football is meant to be intended.
They know what time it is, man.
That's how we can do. Good job. Good job. Good job. AD line, great for me to work today. Great for me to work. I get some water. I get some water, please. Hey, man, bang, bang, baby. Bang, bang. Boy, not long. It ain't over with, man. It's just the beginning.
They wrote us up.
Our words can't even explain, man. All this for 5-4. We holding it down for them. This for 5-4.
Name now.
Dome City!
Here we go. Let's go. That's a good time right there. Bang, bang, light show.
Yes, sir. Dome City, man.
Dub City! We love you, Fred! Dub City!
I'm with your 49ers defensive lineman Sam Mo right after the 49ers win over the Falcons in primetime. Sam, big play after big play. Your name keeps showing up on the stat sheet. Tell me what your preparation was like to have a big game in Sunday Night Football.
Really, the whole D-line, man. I felt like this week we put it upon ourselves to take over this game, man. And I feel like we really did, man. We stopped that run, had a chance to rush the passer, and I feel like we took advantage of our opportunities, man, for sure. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and you were successful against the Falcons team that was top 2 in total offense entering this contest. Yeah. Tell me what was working for the defense.
It's really that run, man. They came in here and tried to establish themselves as a dominant run team, but the defensive line, man, like I said, I'm really proud of my boys. We talked about it all week, stopping this run so we can earn the right to rush the passer. That was one of the key points this week, man, stopping the run. So I'm happy we got to do that.
Sam, the world was watching you win tonight.
Yo.
Tell me what this primetime wins for this team.
Man, you got limited options to play in prime time, Thursday night, Monday night. You feel me? So to play on Sunday Night Football, man, is a big opportunity, and to win at home in Levi Stadium, man, just to get better than that. It feels great. It feels amazing.
Sam, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you. Bang, bang.
All right, Faithful, we play the Houston Texans in just a few days. And joining me on the Saloon is Marc Vandermeer, voice of the Texans. Marc, thanks for joining me today.
Bree, it's a pleasure. So the Faithful, huh? That's who we're speaking to today. I'm ready.
The Faithful are coming into Houston. Now, what do 49ers fans need to know about this year's Texans team before this matchup?
I think they need to know that they should watch this one on television. Just stay home. Don't worry about getting into the building. Or if you come to Houston, enjoy Houston, but stay at the hotel. We don't look in the building. You don't need to be here and make extra noise for the 49ers. Actually, all right, so you need to know a bunch of things. Obviously, you know about DeMeco Ryans, and I'm sure he's brought up good memories there in San Francisco. I mean, the last defense he coached was number 1 in points and yards allowed. And I looked it up at the time because, obviously, as a candidate for this job, I wanted to know what the record was. And that was the first time in 49ers history they had ever achieved that, number 1 in points and yards defensively. So I thought that was pretty cool that DeMeco coached that unit to those marks. And, you know, we have a lot of familiarity with the organization. A lot of former Texans employees, as you know, Bree, are with the 49ers. And, you know, obviously we have DeMeco, and DeMeco is beloved here. He was a Texan drafted in 2006. I've been the voice of the team since we started in 2002. So I interviewed him many times as a player and obviously as a head coach every week, plus and then some. So he's doing a really good job. You know, the first 2 years, you win the division, go to the playoffs, win a playoff game in each of those seasons. That's a tremendous start. Now this year, a lot of struggles, 2-4. Not doing the job on offense. That's a big problem. Bobby Slowick, who was with the 49ers as well, was let go last year in the offseason. Well, after last year, so it's this year, as you know. But we have Nick Caley, who is a Sean McVay and Bill Belichick to a degree disciple. So we have him coaching the offense. And so far, it's just not working the way they need it to. They're not able to convert enough. Third downs. Close yardage situations, 3rd and 4th and short. The Seattle game was a real tough one for them to get over the hump. But defensively, it's working well. So the thinking is now with 3 consecutive home games, albeit against good teams, you can get something good going. It just hasn't happened consistently at all. They had 2 wins in a row, and that's all they have to show for the season on that side of the ledger.
Yeah, it seems like you know the story of the faithful. I'm happy to hear that D'Amico is being treated well over in Houston. And I was reading your content, Marc, and you mentioned that in comeback seasons, there's always a moment where something clicks for a team. For this Houston Texans team, what would that transformation need to look like to get back on track?
There's no question it would be on the offensive side of the ball, and it would be something where all of a sudden there's just slightly better pass protection for C.J. Stroud, or maybe the running game's clicking a little bit better, and you're able to extend drives. You're able to get the ball in the end zone. Bree, in the wins that they have, they were really good offensively, or at least good enough. The teams were undermanned that they played, the Titans and the Ravens, with a lot of guys out. In the losses, they just haven't been able to get into the end zone enough. And it sounds simplistic, but that's it. You know, you have to score to win, and they're not able to get the job done, especially in the clutch. In the game against the Rams, they had the ball late, couldn't score, turned it over. In the game against the Bucs, yeah, they scored a late touchdown, but they had other opportunities, and then they couldn't make the big stop on defense. 4th and 10, Baker Mayfield escapes. The Seattle Seahawks, it was one thing after another. If they punch it in at any time late in the third, early in the fourth quarter, it's a completely different game, unable to do it. So it's offensive woes, and somehow something has to transform on that side of the football.
Well, with that being said, the defense is keeping Houston in games so far this season. What's been working for that group? How are they able to stay so elite during these challenges?
Well, they take the ball away well, and it wasn't happening right away for them, but it's starting to come. And once those things happen, they tend to it's viral or something when you get takeaways. It's contagious. Somehow you're able to really get that train rolling, the takeaway train, I call it. And Jalen Petrie is really good at it. Derek Stingley Jr. is outstanding at it. He's already third in the history of the franchise in interceptions. Got one on Monday night. That was great to see. Kamari Lassiter is nobody to overlook at corner opposite Stingley. Kalen Bullock is a terrific safety they got from USC. Look, they're loaded on defense. I have no issues with the defensive side of the football. It's not perfect. They give up some things. They got off to a bad start the other night, but they kept them in the game. And that's what you want your defense to do. Just keep us in the game so at least we can score. But it got to the point on Monday night where I'm thinking, I'd almost rather have the defense on the field, because I think that, and I'm being facetious here, but I think that they might be able to take the ball away and give the offense point-blank range at some point, or score themselves, which they did on Monday night when Will Anderson Jr. had the strip sack for the fumble recovery in the end zone. So they do a lot of things well. And I think the culture on that side of the football really reflects the head coach. I think on the offensive side of the football, it's not quite there. I mean, it's definitely not there. It's not his brand of offensive football, and I think that's what they have to determine what they need. They have to decide, what is D'Amico Ryan's offensive football? What does that really look like? How can we be that? And until they do that, they can't get to where they want to go. And it can happen at any time. They can start rolling. I mean, last year they weren't great offensively, but they were good, and they had 10 wins and won the division. The year before, they were phenomenal at times. C.J. Stroud's rookie season was epic. It was one of the best, if not the best, statistically in some categories, in NFL history. So that was great. You got to get back to that, or maybe that and elements of that, and then some other things along with it, like a good running game.
Yeah. Marc, you've shared what's shaped this 2-4 start for the Texans so far. Would you say that this team is battle-tested now heading into this San Francisco matchup?
Well, I thought it was weird playing Monday night so late on the road. They won't talk about this, but I will, Bree, because, you know, when you travel with the team, you understand what it's like to a degree to be any member of football operations, whether it be player, coach, front office people, traveling and doing your job. And these late night, now they're not going to do them anymore, but these late night doubleheader Monday nighters to me should always be West Coast teams. It should always be 49ers, Seahawks, Chargers, Rams, Cardinals, maybe Vegas. Yeah, Vegas, sure. Maybe Denver, but that's it. It's everybody else. You're not playing late night, because you take the red eye back and you lose the entire day Tuesday. Tuesday, and now you have basically kind of like that Sunday, Thursday feel where, yeah, it's one more day, but you lost a day and it's terrible. And I think playing late at night anyway is just not good for football, and it's not good for the fans either. East Coast, 10 o'clock Eastern. We're not the NBA. We're not the NHL. We're the NFL, where the league does a terrific job to make sure the biggest games in this league, every game's big, that the games can be seen by kids. And I think it's monumentally important to build your fan base, and they've done a remarkable job of doing that. But don't play at 10 o'clock at night. I didn't mean to lecture about that, but to me, I think that was a little bit of a factor the other night for them, and I'm hoping it doesn't have a residual effect going into Sunday. I doubt it does. These guys are young. They can recover. They'll be okay. But to me, they just have to get through this. Now they're at home for 3 consecutive games, and it's San Francisco followed by Denver and Jacksonville. They all have winning records, so this is no layup by any stretch, but at least you're in your building, and maybe you can capitalize.
Hey, I hear you, Mark, but what makes this matchup in Week 8 extra special for all the fans watching all over the nation is that it's going to be DeMeco Ryans facing his former team for the first time. What are you expecting in this matchup? Do you think this could be a statement game for DeMeco?
Well, I hope it is. I hope it is a statement game for DeMeco. And I asked him about this on his coach's show. I said, what is it like playing the 49ers? We always talk to you about your days as a Houston Texan linebacker. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2006, Pro Bowler. He had a lot of pelts on the wall. He's still the all-time leading solo tackler in the history of the franchise. And I said this before he was a glint in the eyes of the organization to be a head coach here. He was the best player leader we've ever had, by far. And we've had some good ones here. J.J. Watt, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. Andre Johnson, Hall of Famer already. And those guys are great. But DeMeco was always the best leader on the team. And all his former teammates, when he got hired, they all came back. It was a migration back into the stadium. And, okay, now we're good. We got our guy in there, and you know he can coach. Now, a lot of guys, Bree, I think, can coach. A lot of former players have the ability to do it, but do they want to do it? Do they want to make the sacrifices, spend the hours? He does. And I think for him to get this one, not only for the context of this season, considering where they are at 2-4, would be monumental, but to do it against the 49ers, who gave him his chance as an assistant coach and then working his way up. You know, Johnny Holland was there. He loves Johnny Holland. That's really one of his biggest mentors ever. And numerous other Texans. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan spent time here. To do it against this bunch would be extra special for him on Sunday.
Definitely. And you just mentioned it earlier. It's a short week for the Texans. So what do you see this group focusing on with those minimal days of prep leading into Sunday's game?
I think they're going to find a way to probably simplify things a little bit on offense. As we do this, we don't know the status of Nico Collins, who exited Monday's game with a concussion. They were already without Christian Kirk, who injured his hamstring again in practice last week. So I'm not so sure how that's going to affect them other than, everybody's got to step it up. These receivers, they have this interesting group. We call them the Cyclones because they are. They're Iowa Staters. You have the 2 rookies in Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins, and you have Xavier Hutchinson, who's a little bit older. And these guys are really good, but are they good enough to be the frontline 3 guys in your lineup if you have to go without Nico Collins and Christian Kirk? We'll see. Hopefully one or both of those guys can play, but you got to be ready for anything. I think they'll focus on making things simple for them and trying to pound the ball if at all possible. It's not easy against the 49ers. You know, Robert Saleh, he was here as well. You know, I like Rob, and, you know, he was with Central Michigan. I used to be with Central Michigan, and I thought he got kind of hosed with the Jets because he deserved another chance. I mean, you win 7 games with the Jets with what they had working with them. My gosh, it's like a Super Bowl championship season compared to what's going on now in New York. But I digress. I think that it's going to be really special to get all these people together, and it would mean a lot for the Texans to get this victory.
Definitely. And now we fast forward just a few days to Sunday. We've got an early kickoff. What's going to be the deciding factor in this game?
I think I would love to say turnovers, but the Texans won the turnover battle against Seattle, and it didn't work. But I still think that that's a big factor, especially here at home. I can't imagine the Texans winning the turnover battle and not winning the game. Now, even though it just happened. But I think at home it's going to be a different set of circumstances, Bree. And, you know, sometimes we talk about turnovers, and it's like saying, well, you have to outscore the opponent. You have to win the turnover battle. But the Texans, and I think the 49ers have this too going for them, the Texans have this ability to force the issue and create the turnover. Not just, oh, you made a terrible mistake and we got the ball. No, we took the ball. Attack the ball is a big D'Amico Ryans philosophy. And I know D'Amico worked with Robert Saleh, and they have some similarities here, no doubt, in the philosophies. But that's a big deal with the Houston Texans. Being at home could make all the difference. Everyone knows this could be the last house on the left. You know, even though you have a lot of season left, you slipped to 2-5, and the Texans have done it once before, 2-5, and won the division in 2015. But you don't want to sign up for that task. This is going to be really difficult. So this, you know, I'm not going to use the term must-win game, but it's pretty darn close. You have to get this one on Sunday if you're the Texans. So I think deciding factor, turnover battle, but the Texans got to play clean, no silly penalties, pre-snap stuff, hang on to the rock, finish drives, but just play clean on offense. Even if you have to punt, so be it, but keep them in their own end. Don't give up the ball. Short fields for the 49ers make life easier for them, because that's how you lose games.
All right, Mark. Well, there's a lot to look for this Sunday. I really appreciate you joining me today.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bree.